So it's 12 minutes past 5. Welcome along to the programme. If you've just joined us, it's Vernon in for Bridget until 6 o'clock. Now, let's talk about corporate clutter. Turning corporate clutter into community items. I'm talking about old office furniture, chairs, computers, maybe even buckets and mops. Well, that's the idea behind a not-for-profit company called A Good Thing. It was set up by Cathy Benwell from Maidenhead, sort of a matchmaking service, really, and she's here to tell us a bit more. Thanks for joining us on the programme today. Tell us about A Good Thing. Where did the idea come from?
So this was an idea that my husband and I, we co-founded A Good Thing together, had for many years. We were running a software company together, as you say, based in Maidenhead. We had a cupboard full of really nice, high-quality laptops that our software developers had finished with. Sort of every 3 years or so, they were being issued with new laptops. These were piling up in a cupboard. I, meanwhile, was doing lots of work with a charity in Slough called Home Start, where my colleagues were battling away on laptops that took 10 minutes just to boot up. You'd go off and make a cup of tea while it was switching on. And I think we just realized there's a real opportunity here. Let's get the laptops from the cupboard to these colleagues of mine at Home Start. That was very easy to do. He and I did that very simply because of the fact that we had that connection. The two of us had that connection. And I think we just thought that should be available to everybody. You know, all charities should be able to access things that businesses don't need any longer and vice versa. And of course, as soon as you turn something into an app, it does just make it very, very quick and easy to connect people who need to be connected.
Yeah, you were at the Oxford branch of Home Start, I think, weren't you? And we're going back to...
I was at the Slough branch.
And we're going back to 2020, I think?
Yes.
Round about then. Now, you make it sound very easy, Cathy. You make it sound like it's a walk in the park, but I bet it isn't really, is it?
It is so easy, honestly. And so businesses will log in, they'll create their account, they'll list something just like you would on a site like eBay, although of course you're not selling it, you're giving it away. And sometimes within minutes, they've been matched with a local charity and they will come back to me and say, Cathy, we had that sitting in a warehouse for 18 months. We were paying for storage space for it. And within 6 minutes, we've uploaded it to your platform and it's gone and there's a charity picking it up tonight. So, often I think the simplest ideas are the most successful. And this really is, it's not a new idea. Obviously, businesses have been donating to charities for decades. Of course they have. But I think the fact that we have made it so fast and easy through the digital app means that it is a piece of cake, honestly.
OK, I believe you. You convince me. So we can imagine a bit of old computer equipment, office chairs, cleaning supplies, I suppose, paper and stationery. What's the strangest, oddest, most unusual thing you found a new home for?
We had a caravan listed last year. We've had a baby grand piano listed. In fact, we've had two baby grand pianos listed on different occasions. I think they're probably the most unusual.
I'm trying to think of the companies that might have a baby grand piano tucked away somewhere. But, I mean, great use. And I can imagine, actually, there'd be quite a lot of charities that would like something like that.
Well, these are often charities that are working in the community, running community events. They might have some kind of a venue. Also, there's lots of the venues where we all go along and listen to music and watch shows are actually charities themselves. Obviously, a baby grand piano is an expensive piece of equipment otherwise for a charity to purchase.
So ingenious. I love this. Where does this go from here then? What are your expansion plans?
Well, I mean, we would love, there's no reason why every business in the UK should not be using the platform. And certainly what we've seen is that there is stuff, clutter, as you said at the beginning, in every single business. I'm sure about that. And then beyond that, we've actually run a couple of pilots already outside of the UK, which have been very successful and have had constantly actually having inquiries from other places. Clearly, it's a transferable concept. There's no reason why firms in Norway or in Spain don't also have clutter piling up in cupboards. So at some point, that is our next step, is we would love to expand, particularly into Europe, where I know already that there's lots of interest. Republic of Ireland in particular, we get lots of inquiries from. A good thing to take over the world is the plan.
Wow, I love the ambition. And you're easy to find online, agoodthing.org.uk. Cathy, thanks so much for joining us on the programme.
Lovely to be here. Thank you.
Cathy Benwell there, who's the co-founder of that really interesting not-for-profit company called A Good Thing. It's a good title, isn't it?